As someone who has lived in 7 different states total, there are a couple things that you should know before deciding to move to Arkansas in 2020. And those are the things that I want to share with you today. I have helped numerous people, both within the US as well as internationally, relocate here. And there are a couple things that I always try to let them know ahead of time that are a little bit different about our unique state's culture. The first fun fact about Arkansas is we have 0 professional sports teams in the entire state. With that being said, you might see this little mascot popping up everywhere you go. This is the Arkansas Razorback, and it's the mascot for the University of Arkansas. Because there's no sports teams, literally in every city of the state, you can find people sporting Razorback gear. When it comes to quality of life, commute times in Arkansas are usually super low because there's literally such minimal traffic. I'm talking about if you live in a suburb of our capital city and you're heading into our capital city of Little Rock in the mornings, you might sit in 10 to 15 minutes of traffic, if that. There's nothing bad about the traffic here, which makes it really great and makes commute times a breeze, especially if you want to live a little bit outside of the main metropolis. In addition to our super low commute times, another thing that is really great is our super low costs of living, including real estate prices. The median home value in the state of Arkansas is just over $129,000. And I'm not saying that you're going to get a shack in the middle of a field. I'll put a picture right here of a recent home that sold for $129,000. And I mean, it's something that could have easily sold for $300 plus in another state. It's really just crazy. Don't even get me started on our low property taxes. If you do decide to move to Arkansas, let me know in the comments and I'll give you more information on those. One thing that's really different about our transactions for real estate is that we really don't use earnest money here. And that's something that's very surprising to people who are coming from Dallas, people who are coming from California. Most other big states require earnest money when you're making an offer on a property, but here it's really just not standard. So that's something to definitely keep in mind if you do considering purchasing a home when you get here. School-wise, we do have a pretty good public school system throughout the state of Arkansas, and it does vary by city, of course. And when you get here, you can do a little bit more research, or if you have specific questions about school zones, let me know and I'll do the best that I can to answer them for you. In addition to the public school system, private schooling is also fairly common here, and there are an abundance of private schools and charter schools to choose from. I just like to point that out because I have, with living in so many different states, I have seen, in the South, private school to be a little bit more trendy than when I was living in some other states. So it really just varies, but both are very strong here. And there's not really one that I would say, everyone is private schooling, everyone is public schooling. It's a really good mix. So don't get scared by our no pro teams and our affordable means of living, because we definitely have lots of big brands here and you can definitely find everything that you're pretty much looking for. Additionally, there are some unique companies that are starting to make their way into Arkansas. The most recent one that we all got excited about at the end of 2019 was Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is officially in Arkansas and we are just all about it, which I had experienced it in the other states that I had lived in. So having it here has just made it all the more worthwhile. And lastly, Arkansas overall is just a beautiful state. We really experience all 4 seasons. Our summers are fairly mild compared to some super hot states, as well as they're not as humid as places like Louisiana and Florida. So they're not like that kind of dewy in humidity. We do get some humidity as compared to the dry states like Arizona and Nevada, but they're really manageable. You might see some temperature days in the 80s and 90s in the really hot time of the summer. But other than that, the weather's great. We get super pretty fall leaves because we definitely have a long fall. And then we also get mild winters. There's not a lot of snow that will come here. I think the average, maybe yearly for the whole state, is like 3 or 4 inches of snow. So it'll get colder, but really no threat to your short drive to work. And lastly, one unique thing that I would like to just share is the ability to kind of go from an urban nightlife setting to hiking a mountain in just a couple of minutes, which I think is a really unique thing about Arkansas and something that you can't find in many other states. For example, in central Arkansas, you can go straight from the river market where you're enjoying, fresh new restaurants as well as, nightlife, to Pinnacle Mountain in just over 20 minutes. And that's a great hike with amazing views of central Arkansas. And it's so cool to be able to live in an area where you can do both and experience both in, under half an hour. So I know that this was just a quick video on Arkansas with a couple things to expect. If you are actually really considering moving to Arkansas, I will leave my contact information below this video. I would love to answer any questions you may have about moving to our lovely state. And if you find yourself definitely relocating to the area, I'd be more than happy to guide you through finding the right little area for you to put down your roots.